Hey VC students, welcome to another video of hok'stutoring. I'm Hawk and today I'll be going through a tutorial video on question 4 of chapter 5C of your methods textbook. So this video is going to cover a couple of questions in there on your exponential subtopic. So without further ado, we might as well get into the question. Right, so question 4, solve for x. And then I've just listed 3 different questions because these ones they're not very hard questions. It's just one of those questions where if you know how to do the first one, then you most likely will know how to do the rest. So I'm just wanted to make sure because these questions that you see on screen at the moment, they occur, I guess, occasionally in your exam papers. They definitely will pop up in the textbook and they also will pop up in your SAT questions. So I thought it'd be a good idea that we cover this off so that when it comes to those times, your test time, you can easily solve this question very efficiently. Right, so let's jump into the question. Let's do A first. So you'll see that with question A, 3 to the power 2x minus 2 bracket 3 to the power of x minus 3 equals to 0. This is essentially an algebraic question, and you might see that it looks very similar to your standard polynomial solving questions. So essentially you have like x squared minus 2x minus 3 blah 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 equals 0, something like this, for example, and you're solving for x. The only difference between these two types of categories of equations here is one is in exponential format and the other one is, well, x is a standalone by itself. So now I'm going to show you guys a trick, a very nice handy trick that you can apply to these type of questions, and it's going to solve these very easily. And again, it's going to use your algebraic solving skills, so it'll be very similar. So let's get into this question, and I'm going to rewrite this first part a little bit differently so you can see it, okay? So you can see how it relates together. So 3 to the power of 2x, another way of writing that essentially is actually 3 to the power of x to the power of 2, because remember the exponential law, if you have an exponential and that exponential is to the degree power of something else, then essentially you can multiply these two powers together and you get well, the same thing, right? So in this case, 3 to the power of x to the power of 2 can be written as 3 to the power of 2x is the same thing. So minus 2, and we just rewrite this whole thing again, minus 3 equals to 0. And now you can see that, well, the first term and the second term have 3 to the power of x in them. And the very efficient trick here you can let any letter, whatever you want, any variable, or equals to 3 to the power of x. And then you can rewrite this equation as a squared minus 2a minus 3 equals to 0. And now, does that look more familiar to you? Yes, it does. Essentially, the standalone x is now just this a, right? So you can now proceed to do algebra and factorize this. So a squared minus 2a minus 3, we use the crisscross method, which is a minus 3 bracket a plus 1 equals to 0. And then a therefore is equals to 3, no factor law. We just let the bracket equal to 0, solve for a, and a equals to negative 1. Well, the goal here is not to solve for a. We got these, which is good, but we're almost there, not quite yet. The goal here is to solve for x. So what do we know about a? Well, a is equals to 3 to the power of x over here, right? So then you can say 3 to the power of x is equals to 3, or 3 to the power of x is equals to negative 1. Well, the first one is very easy. You can just say, well, 3 to the power of x equals 3, that's the same as 3 to the power of 1, so therefore x is equals to 1. And then we look at the second part, the second solution. Well, 3 to the power of x equals to negative 1. What can x be, right? Well, the problem we have here is, can a number, and it's to the degree power of something, can it ever be a negative, can the answer ever be a negative number? No, it doesn't work, right? Because what do we know about the graph of 3 to the power of x, or an exponential graph of this kind? Well, an exponential graph, positive exponential graph, always looks like this, and you can see that the y value or the graph never goes below the x-axis, and you can never get a negative answer. So in this case, there's actually no solution at all. So your only one answer is x equals to 1, and that is how you solve the first part. Okay, so guys, It's very simple. It's these type of questions. They're very similar, and they always come in like the same format. And that format is like these things: 3 to the power of something, 2x. It can be quadratic, and then sometimes it can be even a cubic. But usually it will come in a quadratic format, and you can just rewrite into this format. Let a equals to usually the second term will tell you what that exponential is, and then you can just use algebra and solve for it. So that is how to solve for it. I'll quickly do D and G so that you guys get a bit more experience. Feel free to pause the video at any time and do this yourself, and then check back in with the answer at the end of the video. So I'm going to do these, and I hope you enjoy.
So part D, 2 to the power of 2x equal to 6 to x minus 8. Well, this can be written as 2x to the power of 2 equals to 6 to x minus 8. And therefore, you can let a equals to 2 to the power of x, and you have a squared equals to 6a minus 8, which is then a squared minus 6a plus 8 equals to 0. We use crisscross, and we get a minus 4a minus 2. So therefore, a equals to 4 or a equals to 2. And then, therefore, again, 2x equals to 4. 2x equals to 4 or 2x equals to 2, and therefore x equals to 2 or x equals to 1. Circle your answer, and that is that.
And then we have part G, which we can write over here.
For 2x minus 5 for x equals to negative 4. You can rewrite this as 4x to the power of 2 minus 5 for x equals to minus 4. And then we have let a equals to 4 to the power of x. So then you can rewrite this as a squared minus 5a equals to negative 4, which is a squared minus 5a plus 4 equals to 0. And if you want to do a bit of crisscross, then you can go a minus 4 times by a minus 1. You can check your answer by check this by multiplying them together to see if you can get back to the quadratic. But essentially it's just a crisscross. And if you need a bit of help with crisscross, please refer to the factorizing video I did earlier. I'll leave a pop-up above so you can check that out. And a equals to 4 or a equals to 1.
So therefore 4x is equals to 4, or 4x is equals to 1. X is equals to 1, or, well, this last part, it might seem a bit strange, but we've learned one of the exponential law is that any number to the power of 0 will get you 1. So in this case, you can say, well, x can be equals to 0. So then that is your answer for that. So guys, that is pretty much it on this video. I just thought it would have been a fast one, but it's a good idea to make sure you're on top of this. Because yeah, these questions generally they're worth 1-2 marks in the exam, and every easy mark counts. And this one is an easy question if you know the strategy. So make sure you watch this. Make sure you put in your cheat sheet if you need, put in your book. But otherwise, it should be relatively simple. Alright guys, thank you for watching this video. If you found it useful, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Greatly appreciate it. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.